Hey, welcome back to the Marriage is Code podcast, where we're your hosts, Pastor Danny and Dr. Amelia Cole. Listen, I know a couple of weeks ago, we got into a little bit about our new book, The Passion Framework. And I'm just coming again to do a brief book preview again of The Passion Framework. This is our first book, The Pursuit of Passion, which again, it helps us pursue passion. But this is our second book, which is the Passion Framework. It helps you to maintain your pursuit. It helps you to maintain the passion that you pursued and obtained in your relationship. So we're going to get into a little bit of what the book talks about in chapter 2. And in chapter 2, we're talking about awareness. And I know you're saying, well, you're just going to jump right into it. Yeah, I'm going to jump right into it, because I'm only going to be on here for a few minutes. And thank you for your time again. If you are anywhere near social media, if you're anywhere near social media, any platform, Instagram, TikTok, any of those platforms, I encourage you to go out and check out our website. Check out DannyAmelia.org or Marriage Oneness 365. All of those platforms are available for your viewing experience. It's also tools to help you not only navigate relationship issues, but it helps you maintain the current relationship that you have obtained. It helps you to maximize the potential that's in your relationship. And this book, The Passion Framework, which is our second book that we have authored together, my wife and I, Dr. Amelia Cole and myself, this book, it helps you with not only maintaining what you pursued in the pursuit of passion, but it helps you keep it nice, neat, and framed. Your relationships have boundaries that need to be set around them. And the Passion Framework helps you establish those boundaries. I'm going to hold this book up right so you can see it correctly. I got it like sideways this way, but I need you to be able to see it correctly. The Passion Framework. It's available online. It's available at our website, DannyAmelia.org, or it's available on Amazon. Both of our books are available on Amazon. And you can go out and please invest in them. You have birthdays coming up, people who are getting married, people who are engaged. These two books will help them in their endeavor to establish and maintain a healthy relationship. So we're going to get into a little bit of chapter 2 of the Passion Framework. The Passion Framework, we're going to talk about awareness. And in chapter 2, awareness is seeing beyond the surface to what's stirring within. Awareness is seeing beyond the surface of what's stirring within. Investigate my life, O God. Find out everything about me. Cross-examine and test me. Get a clear picture of what I'm about. That's what awareness allows you to do. It allows not only for you to get a clear picture of what you're about, it allows your spouse, the person you're in a relationship with, it allows them to get a clear picture of who you are. And so it says, see for yourself whether I'm doing everything wrong, not whether I'm doing everything wrong, whether I'm doing anything wrong. These little very fancy writings, when you don't have your reading glasses, all the words look alike, but they're not. It says, see for yourself whether I've done anything wrong. Then guide me on the road to eternal life. That's Psalms, the book of Psalms, chapter 139, verse 22 and 24 in the Message Bible. In this book, we want you to become aware of who you are. We want you to search yourself, search your heart, so you can see who you are in the relationship. It is so important that in any relationship, it is so important that you discover who you are first, because it's going to be very difficult to be an effective relationship partner if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what you want, if you don't know what you like. And that's why the framework is so important. You have to discover who you are first. You have to discover what you want in order to tell, or in order to communicate to your spouse or your significant other or whomever you're going into a relationship with. You've got to be able to tell those individuals what it is you like and what it is you don't like. But so often we've discovered, not only in our personal relationship over the years, but we've discovered in individual relationships that people don't know who they are, but they want other people to discover them and figure them out and read their minds and read their body language and thoughts. Those things over time, if you've been in relationships long enough, if you've been in a relationship with anybody long enough, be it a partner or a coworker, a husband, a wife, a son, a daughter, mother or father, it doesn't matter. If you've been with that person long enough, you can interpret their body language. You can interpret their lack of communication. Over time, you can. But it's important for you to know who you are first before you go in and try to diagnose or interpret someone else's emotions or feelings. That's why in chapter 2, we talk so much about awareness. Awareness is a sacred work. In marriage, what's not said often speaks the loudest. Isn't that true? In a relationship, sometimes what you don't say often speaks louder than what you do say. And it goes back to my initial point. Over time, you can determine how your spouse is feeling by how they act. But that comes with time. That comes with persistence. That comes with consistency. That comes with knowing you, because you have to know how you respond in those silent moments. You have to know who you are in those silent moments. And so often we don't know who we are in those moments of silence, that we then try to portray that or put that on our spouse, or they call it deflecting. We try to deflect how we're actually feeling onto the other person. That's why awareness is so important. That's why in chapter 2, we talk about awareness. Awareness of what? Awareness of yourself first. Many couples become expert in logistics, coordination, schedules, paying bills, keeping routines, but they lose sight of each other's emotional worlds. We can get so bogged down sometimes in the busyness of the day. We can get bogged down with schedules, logistics, who's going to pick up the kids and who's going to pick up dinner for tonight and who's going to make dinner, we can get so bogged down in the everyday, ordinary task that we lose each other emotional worlds. We can get so detached from each other emotionally because we have so many other things going on, and life is doing what it does. Life is lifing, but we have to stay connected. And how do we stay connected? We stay aware of ourselves, and we stay aware of our spouse's emotional world. Awareness is a holy invitation to, number one, pause, to breathe, to listen without agenda. Again, awareness is a holy invitation to pause, to listen without agenda, and to see beneath the surface. Awareness allows you to see beneath the surface. And again, we're talking about being aware of who we are first before we try to diagnose and determine what my spouse is or what the other person is. We've got to be aware of who we are first. We all get swept up in the business of daily life. Work, school, kids, dinner, laundry, dishes, everything in between. And yes, the responsibilities, they do matter. But in the rush of all of it, we often forget to pause and truly listen to one another. In the business of the day, we become unaware of how our spouse is feeling because we have so many other irons in the fire. That's why it's important for you to have a routine date night. We encourage that. It is important to have a routine date night, even if it's just a moment of being at home watching your favorite movie or binging on your favorite shows. But have those moments where you disconnect, not from life, but you disconnect from the responsibilities that's pulling on you for that day. And then you begin to rediscover who you are. You begin to rediscover, number one, why you are with this person. And also you begin to see that person emotionally. You begin to feel that individual. That's where awareness comes in. For my wife and I, those moments of reconnection often happen during long road trips home. And this is where we get into some of our personal experiences. A lot of times when we were unaware of each other's emotional worlds and feelings, we would plan a trip, come home from whatever state we were living in at the moment. We would disconnect from that particular state. It sounds weird though, but we would disconnect from the surroundings and the environment and the things that were pulling on us, and we would take a vacation, basically. And on those long trips home, we begin to reconnect with one another. We begin to rediscover what was off or why we were feeling a certain way and why we were burnt out or why we were tired or why this happened or why that happened. You have got to become aware of your surroundings and the things that's pulling you away from one another in order to reconnect. You think about this. If you have an extension cord and you constantly pulling on it and pulling on it and pulling on it, eventually it's going to disconnect from the source, the electricity, the power that's keeping everything going. And when you're unaware of the fact that you're pulling on this source and this source is disconnected, you'll feel like you're tired, you're drained, you're upset, you get touchy, you get fretful, you get anxious. All of those things come easier because you've disconnected from the source. And that's what happens in so many cases in relationships. We disconnect from our source, which is being aware of one another emotionally. When you disconnect from the source, the reason you got with that person, the reason you love that person, the reason you started building a life together. Awareness, bring those things back into focus. So on those long trips home, the Spirit of God will begin to deal with us. Without noticing, we would reconnect often. Well, reconnection. Let me go back and share this. Reconnection often happened during long road trips from Atlanta back home to Memphis. This is my wife and I's personal testimony. That's also in this passion framework. We put a lot of our own personal experiences in this book. Just to let you know, what we're talking about, we've been there. We've done that. We've had those long conversations. We've had those moments where we were unaware of one another's needs, desires, wants. We've been there. So the things that we're sharing with you are the things that we put in these two books. This is 40 years of marital experiences placed in two books. We have more, but for right now, this is what we're operating with. So for my wife and I, those moments of reconnection often happen during long road trips home from Atlanta to Memphis. Noting. Again, I want to be able to say these words correctly, but I don't have my reading glasses. So when I'm struggling with a particular word, it's because I can't see it. It's because my glasses are way over on the other side of the studio and can't get up and get them. Not at this moment. So bear with me. With nothing but time, highway, and quiet stretches of conversation, God would gently examine our hearts, the things we had been avoiding, the unspoken frustrations, the emotional distance, the unresolved tensions. They would rise to the surface. So on those long road trips home, with nothing but highway, nothing but quietness, God began to deal with us personally. And all of those unresolved issues would begin to rise to the surface. We would become aware of those things. And somehow, in that stillness, emotional worlds again. In the stillness of those moments, we found space to see each other again. In the stillness of those moments, we found space to see each other again, to reconnect to each other again, to hear each other again, to realize that whatever was pulling on us in that place where we was had pulled us apart. We had disconnected from one another. But on those long road trips home, we were able to reconnect emotionally with one another. And those were some of the best trips that we've had. We began to speak honestly to one another. And we allowed that honesty to heal us. Within the passion framework, we speak about honesty. We speak about allowing the honesty of the conversation to heal you. We speak about allowing the honesty of your partner's emotional well-being to not only give them that mental release that they need, but it gives them that spiritual release that they need. But it also gives you the opportunity to minister directly to that need. Whatever that need is, it gives you the opportunity to minister to that need. And that's what this book is about. The Passion Framework is about being able to reframe your relationship around awareness. And that's in chapter 2. I'm not going to go any further into chapter 2 because, again, I want you to be able to receive the information that we're sharing in this book. I want you to be able to digest the information that we're sharing in this book. And I will come on periodically and do another book review, brief review of the Passion Framework. But I encourage you to go out online, DannyAmelia.org. I encourage you to go to Marriage Oneness 365. Follow us on all social media platforms, but get this information into the hands of the person that you're going to be building a life with. Get this information. Get both of these books. Get The Pursuit of Passion and get the Passion Framework, because this information is to help you develop, and not only develop, but maintain a successful relationship. We're not looking for people to just have our books and not apply the information that's in it. But even if you don't need it, you can get it to someone who you know it'll benefit. Because that's what it's all about. It's about benefiting the other person or helping the other person rediscover who they are. It gives the other person the opportunity to discover where or if they're unaware in certain areas. But it also helps everyone that's in a relationship with that person. It also helps them to not only see who they are, but it helps you to see who you are. I encourage you. We have information out on our website. We have information at Marriage Oneness 365. We have information on DannyAmelia.org. We have information that will transform your relationship. It'll help transform your marriage. If you're feeling stuck and disconnected, it'll help you get reconnected. How? Through awareness. So awareness gives you an opportunity to stop, to pause, to breathe, to reflect, and to see the other person in their wholeness. And that's what these two books are all about, being whole in who you are and what you are. So thank you for joining me for this brief book review of our Passion Framework. And also, I look forward to being able to share more concerning the Passion Framework by Dr. Amelia and Pastor Danny Cole. We love you guys. We appreciate you. And come back and join us. All right.